guys. Welcome back to P Squared Sips and Convo with Pamela Guillory Lee
And Paulette Afro Angel Abinomo.
And today we're going to talk about the hot topic, colorism. Does it exist? Who does it exist with? Are you a part of the problem? Are you a part of the solution? What is the solution? Let's dig deep into it, friend. You ready?
I am. Definitely, this is a topic that I hold close to my heart because it's something I'm always discussing. Just want to bring awareness about it because it does actually exist. Different people have experienced it. I know I personally experienced it as well. But we're going to have Pamela break down the meaning of colorism. What is it exactly?
So, colorism became widely known by Alice Walker in her book, In Search of Our Mother's Garden. It was published in 1983. So that's when colorism was brought to the light of the African American culture, and it basically means that the discrimination of within the same race based on skin tone. So more so light skin discriminating against darker skin tones. So that's what colorism. It was brought to our awareness by Alice Walker.
And of course, most of y'all know it was definitely highly introduced in America when they bring the slaves over, and then of course you have the masters integrating with the slaves or
raping
the slaves, and then you have the different skin tones that came about, and so you have the house Negro, and then you have the field Negro. And so does it stem today? Is this something that is continually going on? And we could definitely start off breaking it down in entertainment.
Well, we could even go beyond that.
Yeah.
The paper bag test.
Okay, so we can start with that one first.
A lot of times, well, not a lot of times, there was a standard with the brown paper bag. So in order to get in certain schools, in order to get in certain organizations, in order to be considered the elite, you had to pass a brown bag test. And if you were lighter than the brown bag, then you were good to go. But if you were darker than the brown bag, then you were considered low, like you wouldn't get the job, or you wouldn't get into the organization
or the
schools. Yeah. And it went further and further from there. So that's where it really began after slavery. Then became the paper bag test, and then with entertainment, what is the standard of beauty? So let's talk about it.
Yeah, I think Matthew Knowles came out with a book discussing colorism and his experience of it, which was, I find interesting because, he has a daughter who is light-skinned, and which there was a back rumor saying that the reason why Beyonce was on the forefront was because of the way that she looked. Now, I beg to differ a little bit because I feel like Beyonce is just a talented artist, period. But then again, I can see what other people mean that, okay, yeah, she's the one that stood out in the group.
But it was also his daughter.
Exactly.
The manager.
That was his daughter. So if you had a daughter, would you put it as I don't care how bad my daughter sings. If I'm the manager, she's going to get singing lessons.
Front and center.
Front and center,
yes,
okay?
Absolutely.
Yes. All that. So I find it interesting that he actually wrote a book about it, and I actually want to research and actually read it for myself. He was saying about his own experience with it was when he was trying to get into school, college, if you will, and they did a brown paper bag test on him. And basically, the only reason why he was able to get into the school was because he played sports. They got away with it because, him being athletic and all that, he was able to get into the school. But he does call out a situation where they did a brown paper bag test on him. So I found that kind of interesting that, he had to go through that back then. And fast forward to now, with Beyonce being, in the forefront and all-girl group, she's the one that stood out. People will make comments, oh, that's the prettiest girl in the group. Now, personally, me, I thought, what's her name? Latavia, the original Destiny's Child girl. She always stood out to me. I loved her eyes. I just liked her features. I always thought she was gorgeous. I don't want to drift off to the conversation, but I always thought she was gorgeous to me. She stood out to me. But, people will make comments. Beyonce's the girl that stands out. She's the prettier one. So sometimes, we may not know that we're participating in colorism, but we are actually doing it. There's times I make comments that were probably inappropriate, where, you know, hey, because this person is this shade, oh, they're considered pretty. And I know with me growing up, I heard it all the time. You know, it's like, okay, you know, you standing next to a light-skinned girl, and the light-skinned girl will get the compliment, and I know I'm dressed cute, makeup's cute, hair is cute, never miss the beat, always, nails done, and no compliment. I'm like, so she's pretty, but what about me? Not to say I was fishing for compliments, but I noticed that if I'm next to a light-skinned girl, there was more favoritism towards that person than me. Not to say I was looking for it, but it's something that you experience as a dark-skinned girl. Now, mind you, my skin has gotten a whole lot lighter, but me growing up, I was considered very, very, very dark. And I think because I'm getting older, I'm not being outside as much as I used to. But that was my personal experience, where, you know, you're standing next to somebody who is light-skinned, and it seems like the eyes drift towards that girl.
Okay, and that has a lot to do with the standard of beauty and what's portrayed in the media as beautiful. And it's always portrayed the lighter skinned the person, the fairer the skin the person, then the more beautiful or ideal the person is, or what that fits the standard. So you can see that in TV, you can see that in videos, music videos, you can see that in social media as well. So in like a lot of TV shows, we were talking about, you know, we always play off each other. Because we always call it Salt and Pepper, or Pam and Gina, or
Whitley and Kim.
But in some TV shows, like, or even in Living Single, so Khadijah, which is Queen Latifah, I love Queen Latifah, but she's a more fair skinned actress, and she was the main character. But Max, which was one of her best friends, a darker skinned chick, they're always typecasted, and this is in the 90s, I'm not talking about right now, but typecasted as the loud, crazy friend with the men problems. And you can even aggressive. You can even see that in Martin. Gina was the one that was married or in the relationship, but Pam was the words. I love Pam. Don't get me wrong. Pam, BDB, but even BDB, like I say, they called her BDB.
It was always jabs towards Pam. I always thought Pam was the prettier one.
Yeah, so it was always jabs towards Pam, but she was the crazy one. She was the single one.
Aggressive. The one that Martin always made the jokes on.
Right. So you can see that in TV. You can see that in videos from every artist. The light-skinned chick is the prettiest. Or it was one song. I think it was I don't want to say who it was, but I believe it's Nas's song. It was like the ghetto Naomi Campbell. Why does she have to be the ghetto Naomi Campbell when you're talking about a darker skinned chick? So yeah, you can see it everywhere. It's
a lot of negatives, it seems, towards dark skinned women though. It's like it's always some type of negative connotation when you're referring to a dark-skinned woman. Not to say it happens all the time, but it does happen. For example, now, even today, you know, you have these popular reality shows. One of them is Basketball Wives. That seems to be a huge topic on that show, where they have a girl on the show. She's Nigerian. Her name is Oji Ogonag. I don't know what her full name is, but she's Nigerian-American like myself. And there was a situation where Evelyn, who is Afro-Latino, and I want to call her Afro-Latino, that's another podcast for another day, because she was caught out and somebody had said that she's not Afro-Latino. Yes, she is, but that's another topic.
That's somebody that doesn't know where the slave ships, the trajectory or the navigation.
And we could get deep into that too.
The slave ships, but we could definitely dig deeper into that.
Because I'm a big advocate with
because
these
kids do not know their history. But anyway, I don't know who said that. It could be a kid or I don't know. But anyway, go ahead.
So basically, there was a tiff between the two girls, and there was a situation where, the girls got into it, and Evelyn referred her as ugly. You know, I think she also made an Instagram statement calling her, or she put a monkey emoji. She didn't necessarily call out and said it was OG, but OG felt that it was towards her. And so now she's on, I don't want to say campaign, but she is calling out the issue of colorism, saying that there is favoritism towards, the lighter skinned girls in the group, because they called her aggressive. Even when they did the reunion, they actually separated OG and put her in a separate room, saying that she's aggressive and this and that. Mind you, Evelyn has thrown a chair. Evelyn has jumped on tables.
Yes.
Evelyn has grabbed a bag and boxed somebody upside the head. So why is that the word aggressive is being placed on OG, who has not touched anyone on the show as of yet? But then you have Evelyn, sweet Evelyn, beautiful Evelyn that can do no wrong, who has been the most aggressive person on the show. And I feel like we do that is because we are in our minds, whether you like it or not, negativity is always towards the darkest skinned woman or the one that has the most, maybe stronger features. And so I found that very... I did find out that it was an issue, and I'm glad that OG actually bring it up because it's something that it needs to be addressed. I think for so long we kind of kept it on. We know that it's there, but we kept it on the hush hush.
And a lot of times, like you said, the hush hush because we sweep it under the rug.
Yes, we do.
And darker skinned people are typecast or viewed as, not even typecast. Typecast and viewed as the more aggressive ones.
Right. But then somebody could be light skinned and cuss till Kingdom come out. Oh, well, she just, has anger issues. She's just mad. But let me start yelling and cussing. Oh, Paulette's aggressive. I heard that before, too. Anytime I voice my opinion, Paulette, you're so aggressive. No. Don't call me aggressive. I'm passionate when I talk. Because my background, I am Nigerian. We have a lot of passion when we talk. So I don't like when people use the word aggressive I feel like it's being associated with me because I am a dark-skinned girl with heavy African features. And I can't help the way I talk. Sometimes I sound like I may be aggressive, but I'm actually in a good mood. That's just the delivery of the way I project my voice. But I feel that when someone looks a certain type of way, and I feel like in OG's case, then yeah, she was experiencing a bit of colorism. Now I could dig deeper into the situation, which I'm not going to get too deep into it. There was a situation, and Pam can kind of piggyback off of this situation because I'm not really aware too much of the culture, and she is. There's another girl that's on the show. Her name is Kristen. Kristen, to me, I consider as a dark-skinned girl, but then OG, they're sitting down, I guess trying to have a resolution about what happened in the previous season, and she was telling Kristen, who's also dark-skinned, that hey, you don't understand what I'm going through. You never experienced colorism because you have European features. I'm like, okay, now to me, I feel like you're being nitpicky. This girl's from Louisiana, and from my understanding, Pam, you can piggyback on this. Explain to me how it is broken down over there, because how does OG know that she never experienced it? Because from my understanding, and from what you educated me on, like even you would consider dark skinned if you go to Louisiana.
Yeah,
so.
I'm considered dark skinned in Louisiana. So, and I do have Louisiana roots. So yes, definitely. I don't watch the show. Who is the girl?
OG, the African?
The girl from Louisiana.
A Kristen.
So I don't watch the show. I don't know who she is. I don't watch reality TV. However, I do know that I am a darker skinned person when it comes to being of Louisiana heritage. So yeah, definitely. So yeah.
So it's like, who can say that they're dealing with colorism and who cannot? I don't think it's a situation of which shade, because me being Nigerian, I have cousins who still live in the continent of Africa. And they have made comments saying that, oh, you're so light, you're so fair. And I'm looking at myself, fair where? And they're like, even my skin tone is considered light skin over there. So that's kind of funny. You know, she sees herself as dark skinned, or she's been told by somebody in Louisiana, hey, you're considered dark. But if I go to Africa, I'm considered light skinned. So it's very weird, I guess, in this of how colorism can just be in so many different spectrums of the color wheel when it comes to skin tone.
with black people. It's all over.
All over the place.
But where does the basis come from? I think the basis comes from the standard of beauty. And what is the standard of beauty?
And where it came from the European. I think it originated from there.
But it's more broadcasted in the media. So even with lighter skin tone people in magazines like Beyonce, I forgot what cover it was, but Beyonce was photoshopped to be lighter skinned in a magazine. So even Lupita was photoshopped to be lighter skinned. Gabrielle from Precious was photoshopped to be lighter skinned, because the standard of beauty is the lighter the skin color, the more beautiful or more pleasant on the eyes. the skin is. So the lighter the skin color. So you want to go ahead and expand, friend?
Now I swear, y'all, for real, I really want to get into comedy. But man, some of y'all real talk. Thank God for this future business that's going on. Even some of you on Facebook. I mean, posting pictures. And I'm like, girl, now you know you ain't that.
Like who?
No, girl, I ain't gonna say who, but it's a lot of us that done it. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Personally, me, when I post pictures on Facebook or Instagram, I actually darken my pictures.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she can tell you. She's a witness to that. I darken my pictures because I don't look dark. Like, when I take pictures, I don't know what it is. But, oh, Lord Jesus. It's because it's wine, bro. I just be laughing. But people be posting pictures, I'm like, so when I see you in person, how am I supposed to react when I see you? Like,
But that's not even skin color. That's weight. That's everything. So.
I know people making themselves skinny. I'm like, girl. So when people see you in public, I feel kind of catfish. Like, I'm offended a little bit. I'm like, friend, now you know I know you.
Right.
Now I see people on lighting they photos, and this goes back to what I'm saying. Like, sometimes we don't know in our consciousness that sometimes we play a role into it.
But it has been implanted in us, though.
Yeah, it has been.
Definitely with the media, with family, with friends. It's definitely been. I can't even say especially. I think the media plays a huge role in what the standard of beauty is and skin color, because I think CNN did an experiment. Yeah, it was CNN did an experiment on children, and they had pictures of from white to the darker skin tone, and they asked the kids who was more pretty, who was beautiful, who was smarter, who was dumber, and in every answer, in every response, the darker skinned child was the ugliest or the dumbest, and the white child was the prettiest and the smartest. And when they asked why, is because of the skin color. And so it's implanted in us about our skin color and where we play on beauty and intelligence and who we get hired and how we're viewed from employees. So it is definitely implanted in us. And I think that, but the representation has gotten better in the media of what's beautiful. But as well, we need to educate people on how society looks at us and our skin color. Our skin color or the tone of our skin should not play a huge part in our abilities to do what we need to do.
But unfortunately, it's there because I feel like, not to say it's our responsibility, but I think that we should stop, like you said earlier, stop sweeping it under the rug. You know, people are really affected by colorism, and they don't even realize that may be the issue. There was a study that I saw in an article where they're saying more light-skinned women are able to get certain positions, not all the time now.
Even in wages.
They make more money than the darker skin parts. Even like economically, light skinned women are making more money than dark skinned women. And we're not saying in every case, in every career, but it is a common issue when it comes to like wages and economics across the board. So, you know, it plays a huge part, and sometimes we may not be aware or educated. And I think that now it needs to be a discussion that we need to dig deeper into.
Yeah, we have to.
And some people, it's funny because I talk about it all the time on Facebook. I love to bring awareness to it because it was funny when I got out of high school. It was more of a soul searching, I guess, thing for me, because I never understood why I was called certain. Because I was bullied in high school. For y'all that don't know, not even high school. I mean, even when I started public school in kindergarten, I noticed that the lighter skinned girl will get more favoritism towards, you know, and the teachers more than I do. Not to say all the time, but, you know, being called like monkey and different kind of, if somebody called me monkey child, I think I was in my 30s and somebody called me that. We were no longer friends. And when I catch you in the streets, bruh, some of y'all already know who I'm talking about, but that's all right. I have learned to release it. But you know,
but that even not to cut you off, but that even goes to say, like, when you have an argument that has nothing to do with race, why do people
Result to that
go to what you
like it's supposed
physically
to be a
look like?
jab.
But it has nothing. Yeah, so would they go into your physical appearance as a jab or an insult? But it has nothing to do with the because I have definitely heard somebody say with your black ass. I've definitely heard that.
And sometimes we
Definitely heard that. So
yeah,
why should your physical appearance go into an argument that has nothing to do with
or being
with color?
seen as a put down? And I
yes,
think this is what I was
insult.
kind of going
Yes.
into when I learned to educate myself of where this stems from. It actually helped me to release the anger and the bitterness that I had with the colorism issue, because for a long time I had a problem with my color because yes, I was very dark. But when I started going to college, baby, I was called Foxy Brown. I don't know what it is when you go into higher learning, but that's why I encourage everybody. If you want to go to college because your eyes will be open to a lot. But I was called Foxy Brown. Oh, you're gorgeous. You're beautiful. Oh, sister queen. All this kind of stuff. So I'm just like, wow. I never heard these kind of compliments towards me before. So it was just like, okay, well, I'm confused because when I was in school, which I went to predominantly white school, you know, and so I had to do some soul searching myself of like why certain people are being called names and things of that nature. And it gets down to self. Okay, colorism, I feel like it's never going to go away. It's here. It's here to stay. It is what it is. And she might get it. She might go to Louisiana next week and, dang, black ass. You know what I'm saying? But look, she's light-skinned, beautiful girl. But anybody can catch it. Really, when it comes to colorism, anybody can catch it. Asians, they have colorism.
Oh, big time.
Big time. They have it big time. Even in Africa, people are bleaching themselves. Jamaicans, all of them.
And that's a whole, oh my God.
But
that's a whole nother topic. And we will definitely dig and dive deeper into skin bleaching because people are taking drastic measures just to live up to the standard of what we call beautiful.
Right. Pretty much it comes down to individual, you being aware and confident within yourself and that realize that you can't change how people view you. You really can't. At the end of the day, and this is something, again, it is a soul searching moment for me, even going through college. It comes down to you being confident within yourself. You can't change colorism. I feel like it's going to be here to stay. You can't change the standards of beauty, but you can have that confidence of, you know, appreciating who you are and how God made you, and also bringing awareness because some people don't know why they say the things that they do,
and that's something that's implanted in them, though.
Yeah, it's implanted,
and conditioned into like some
out.
Conversations from their parents, from their parents'
their culture,
from friends. Because a lot of times when you ask somebody, "What's your type?" What's the first thing that comes from somebody's mouth when you ask, what's your type? It's their skin tone.
Maybe especially
always. It's their, and we're from the South. I don't know, like if you ask a New York person, but I'm talking about from the South. So when you ask somebody, what's your skin tone? I mean, what's your type? The first thing that comes from their mouth is the skin tone.
And I think with black men, definitely this conversation needs to be had with black men. It's funny because a lot of them, especially these rappers, especially some of these celebrities.
In every song, you light skin, pretty eyes, you know, like from every.
And then you have people like Lil Wayne making comments about, oh, well, she's too dark. Chris Brown making comments that he don't like dark skin girls, and that's fine. Preference is a preference. I cannot change it.
Is a preference.
You can have your preference. If my sister was sitting here, she would tell the world, I don't agree with her, but yes, all of my exes have been lighter than Pam, have been almost the color of this table. I don't choose.
But where does that come from?
I think I just attract light skinned dudes. I just do because I'm not going after them. I just attract the guys who find me attractive happen to be light skinned men, and I think that you go back to the whole opposites attract. Some people don't want to date the same color that they are. They want to date somebody that's different. So that might come into play. But, you know, you get a lot of black men out there, and I'm not dissing all black men saying that all y'all do this, but a lot of black men, I feel like the conversation definitely needs to be had with them because, you know, it goes back to like, it could be from your upbringing of your culture or your parents, and then also your peers. You go to school, the first person that's making fun of your skin tone is a black man. And I'm like, wow. But I saw your mom pick you up, and she. Let me stop. I want to sip my drink. Some of y'all gonna be inboxing me, but I'll go ahead and say it. Some of y'all moms picked y'all up from school. I'm gonna stop. But okay, don't do it. But you know, I think black men definitely need to have this conversation and definitely need to be aware that yes, you know, the comments that y'all are making, you know, these young girls are like listening to y'all and they end up having these self-esteem issues because of the music that's being come out, the comments being said on social media or have you not from black men. You know, and some dark skin girls may not feel desirable because of these comments.
And so we could even dive deeper into that, because I know a lot of black men have said they love them a chocolate woman, but they love that chocolate woman behind closed doors. But but in public they want to be with a lighter skinned woman. So that's how. And then like even with the media, let's go where the darker skinned woman is over sexualized. So a bright skinned woman could be very pretty in a Kojic cloak and just as pretty, but the darker skinned woman is over sexualized in a bikini or in a panties and bra. So it's
just to show the need for attention.
Yes, just to show the need for attention. Thank you. So, but like I said, I've heard a lot of men say they love them a chocolate woman, love them. But
when I'm around your homies, you say my name's Paulette.
Yeah,
you say it.
Yeah,
because now I'm gonna say it.
Oh yeah, and she
don't call you out,
and she has done that.
You know who you are. Yeah. Don't keep me behind closed doors. I think Oprah Winfrey came out with I don't know if it was her with Oprah Winfrey. I believe it was on OWN. It premiered in 2011. It was a documentary called Dark Girls, and basically they were doing individual interviews with dark-skinned women who went through colorism and their experiences, and how they combated it and everything of that nature. But it was interesting, like, you know, like you said, you know, you have the guy that dates the dark-skinned girl, and one woman talked about that. She was telling her experience how she felt over-sexualized. She would go on dates with guys, and they wouldn't claim them with their homies and stuff. And I'm not saying that I've always experienced it. No, you won't claim me. Okay, but it happens, and I feel like it goes back to individual self, you being confident. Because trust me, I'm confident who I am. I think I'm beautiful. I think I am gorgeous. I love my African features, and I can keep going on and on. I love everything about me. However, you know, and I explained this to my friends when I try to tell them, but I noticed there is a different type of attention that certain girls get, especially when they're on the lighter spectrum. And the comments that are being said it breaks my heart when I hear it. And not to be overly sensitive, but I think with black men, they also need to be conscious about, you know, some of the comments and the things that they say. Now, is there such thing as having a preference? Of course. And there's nothing wrong with that. I might not be to your liking. She might not be to your liking. And that is fine. We could do without you. We're both going to be good. However, the comments that are being said towards your own black queens, no matter what shade that they are, like, watch out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Be conscious of what you're saying. Because some of you guys who are making these comments, your mother is probably as dark as this microphone. But you're the main one making comments about somebody's skin tone. And imagine, because DNA is a very tricky thing. And karma is real. Just wait till you have a daughter. And they say that she comes out dark skinned. And imagine she comes home crying every day, daddy, daddy. They call me a black monkey today. How are you going to deal with it? But you know what? You're the culprit to it, because this is what you're teaching other young men, how they need to talk about dark-skinned women. So it's a trickling effect. And I think in our community, especially as black people, we need to be very aware and have these dialogues about skin tones. We also need to talk about standards of beauty. You know, standards of whatever standard of beauty, whatever it is, it does not matter, because the people that created it, they're only doing it based off of them. We're not gonna get too deep.
And that's a deeper conversation, because we need to go into the media. You know, like that is, and there has been. We have a long ways to go. But there has been more representation of more skin tones in the media lately.
Yes.
But go ahead.
Thanks to Instagram. Instagram is doing a great job addressing colorism. They now have videos out. They have different Instagram pages geared towards dark skinned women and showing all these beautiful girls out there. This one model, oh God, I tell you, this girl is
without
gorgeous.
over sexualizing them.
Right. There's a girl, her name is Ducky Thought. I know her last name sounds a little, but she's a Sudan girl from Australia. She has a sister named Nikki. She was married to a white guy. A lot of y'all know who I'm talking about. They made headlines because I think her sister broke up with the husband and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, that's besides the point. But these two girls are both models in the industry. I think the older sister was a model and she retired when she got married and started having her kids. But this girl, her name is Ducky, and she is a gorgeous dark-skinned girl. Gorgeous. And this girl is like turning heads. I think she's now modeling for Rihanna. She's done the Victoria's Secrets show. I mean, she's really making a lot of appearances now. So I think now a lot of these companies, beauty companies, are starting to bring more darker skinned girls in the forefront because I can say from me being a dark skinned girl, we're tired of being in the shadows and not being exposed. We want to be exposed too. We want that attention. I'll be honest. Yeah, I would like to go out and be called beautiful instantly instead of like, well, she's cute for a dark skinned girl. No. I'm cute for a woman, period. I'm a queen. I'm gorgeous. I'm all that. And there's nothing you can put in a rap song. There's nothing you can say to me in public that'll make me think otherwise. So I think it comes down to you being an individual, being confident within yourself, and forget about what the status quo is. But it definitely needs to be addressed because now I think that the old school black ass and all, she's cute for a dark skinned girl and this and that, it's old school. And if you're talking like that, you're old school. I don't want to see what your mama look like. So like I said, some of y'all, the guys, be careful what you're saying. Karma, again, is a bitch because, some of y'all have dark-skinned mothers. Would you call your mom ugly? Would you call her black ass and making the negative comments towards dark-skinned women? Just think about that. Just talk about the parents.
Yeah, and that takes me to a subject of when we were in high school. So... colorism, as a person that is on the fairer side of the spectrum, my mom was considered a dark-skinned woman. She was brown-skinned. But so that hones in for me. So I've always been aware of colorism because my mom was considered a darker-skinned woman. And we even had in cosmetology, we were in class and my mom came up to the school to bring me something to eat. And our teacher said, quote, "Paulette, I think your mom is here."
She assumed that was my mother.
She assumed that my mom was Paulette's mom based on the skin color. But no, that was my mother. And I was like, no, that's my mama. So it has even hit us in our friendship as far as, like the real life.
Yeah.
Colorism, because my mom came to visit me and my teacher assumed that she was Paulette's mom. And she looked real stupid. Well, she was stupid, but she looked real stupid.
Shout out to her. If you're watching this, my bad. we do have to call you out. But yeah.
So, but yeah.
It happens.
It happens.
It definitely happens.
What do you think about your mama as you are criticizing darker skinned women? What do you think about your mama?
I could just go off of my own experience. Again, I wasn't really raised on racism and colorism. Like, it wasn't a discussion because, again, when your parents are coming from a country where everybody kind of looks alike, well, not necessarily, because there is colorism heavily in Africa. A lot of European ideals of beauty is inflicted on Africans. My mom was not considered dark skinned at all. I don't think so. I saw some of her pictures growing up and she was more on the caramel side. So was my dad. So they never really had an issue with colorism per se. So you know, if there wasn't an issue, there was nothing to discuss. But, you know, I'm here in America, born and raised, and I'm being called dark-skinned. I'm telling my parents I'm being teased and this and that. And they're looking at me like, so what do you want us to do? Like, I don't understand why they're teasing you on your skin tone. Like, they don't understand.
There's another topic of just because you don't experience it or it doesn't happen to you, does that mean that it doesn't exist? Like,
right. But if they're not, if it's never been an issue with them, because again, both of my parents, they were not considered dark-skinned people. My dad was actually light-skinned growing up, and he didn't get darker. It was weird. His skin just got dark the older he got. My mom, she was more on the brown side, so that it was never an issue. You know,
but does it still exist?
But it does exist. So
It
when I
does
told my
exist.
parents, you know, they can only go off of what they experienced, and which was no experience at all. So when I'm telling them, they just had a blank look at their face, like, okay, did you make an A in that class? It doesn't matter. I don't care what these people are calling you. Make sure that your grades are good. I'm like, but I'm getting bullied.
Right.
I'm
so
about
that's
to
where the
explode.
awareness of awareness
Yeah.
comes to.
But
I think,
like you said, it does exist because even in Africa, you got people over there bleaching their skin. And here's the thing, and it's another misconception that's going around that everybody in Africa is dark skinned. I have an aunt that is lighter than her. She got red hair and green eyes. My mama's sister, my mom's direct sister, has hazel eyes. She got caramel skin. So there's all kinds of shades. It's called DNA, the mother gene. Africans can come in every shade, every color. But I think once the European idealism of beauty infiltrated in Africa, that's when it started to become a problem. Because even though we didn't deal with slavery, you know, they still put out that, hey, you know, you're still lower than us. You know, we're European, you're African. And even in Africa is carrying, I mean, you, and this, not to be off subject, but you have so many Africans, especially Nigerians, out there perming their hair. I have nothing against relaxers. I'm a stylist, so I understand. But you got some that they don't even embrace their natural hair. And they're bleaching their skin like crazy. I think worse than in the U.S.
And we would definitely get into, because it's even to the point to where now there has been awareness even in skin bleaching cream, like, because I think like even in campaigns they can't even say whitens your skin or stuff like that. It gives you they use more terms as it gives you a glow, radiance. So they can't even say what they really want to say, but those words, it gives you a glow, it gives you more radiant skin, also more equates to skin bleaching. So
you're lightening your skin tone. What you talking about radiant?
Yeah. So you're lightening your skin tone to be more radiant. This conversation goes so deep. It goes so deep. But I think like even the best scenario of colorism as a black girl growing up in the 80s, I am an 80s baby and a 90s baby, was Spike Lee's School Days. Hey guys, stay tuned to part 2.
Ting, ting, ting.